Welcome to the Celtic Craft Studio. I'm Terry, and today we are going to finish, let me get adjusted, we are going to finish our binder journal. But before we get started, I had a question from Carol who wanted to know if the envelopes I was using are Tim Holtz dies. And I told her yes, and I said I'll show the packaging so you know what they are. Here's the business envelope, which I think the number is 665926. That's the business envelope. And then this is the regular envelope, which is 665927. And as you can see, there are a lot of fun things in here. We've got numbers in here. We've got other little dies. There's the finger that everybody loves. There's a star in this one, some tickets. So you get a lot for your money. And occasionally you can find them on sale, so keep watching. And then this one is the folder, and we're going to do something with the folder today, so that's why I thought I'd show you this one too. And it is 665930. All right, so there are those, so that you have the numbers and the information in case you want to go. Oh, and Lola reminded me that these are called brads. I was searching for the word the other day, brads. I told Lola that the minute the camera goes on, everything goes out of my head, so sometimes it's hard to remember things. But thank you, Lola, for letting me know that. All right, so today will be our last session with the ring binder. I think what we're going to do is go through and just do some of the finishing touches, which is my favorite part of a journal. So I have everything I need. I have my tray with a lot of small ephemera, and while I'm thinking about it, Pink Monarch Prints has some great postal items if you want to go on and print them out. I have several of her things that we're going to use today. I have my stamps sitting in front of me. And these, I should show you this one too. These are the correspondence stamps, CM225. And it has all the cool, I'm sorry for the glare, guys. Not sure how to get away from the glare. Not sure how to have enough light and get away from the glare. All right, so those are the ones, and I have them all set up on my acrylic blocks, the ones that I think I'm going to use. So they're all sitting here right in front of me with my ink pads, and I am using archival ink because it is permanent and waterproof. Just in case you should lick your journal, then I know it's not going to run. Although Tim tells us not to lick our stuff. And then I have some rub-ons that kind of match my theme, and in fact I'll dump them out of here and kind of spread them so I can see them. That way I'm very aware of what I have in case I want to use it. So I think I'll put those over here. And we'll add these here and there. And then I have some stamps. I have a new stamp book, but I really want to finish up what's in this. And then I have some of the tape. So I want to use some tape here and there as well. So I think that is all I'll need. So I'll kind of go through, what I do is I go through and let me get my tape out so it's ready. I go through and I just kind of see what I want to add. I'm also going to get my, sorry, I just bumped you and so you wiggled. I'm going to get my tweezers I think the first thing I want to add is I think we need something right there. And I'm thinking a rub-on. Let's see what I've got here that's kind of that size. Oh, there's a handle with care. That might be a good one. Maybe that one's the one we want there. Oh, no, here's one. I like this one too. We'll have to cut that. We'll have to cut this one out. Now these transfers come with popsicle sticks if you want to use those to rub them on. But I find that my tweezers serve two purposes. One, to place it down, and two, yep, because we already have a circle. I don't think we want another circle. Just my balanced opinion. So we're going to set that right there, push it down so the sticky sticks, and then I take the bottom of my tweezers and rub just like the popsicle stick, and that should rub it on. Kind of rub until you can see it change colors. You can see it go from black to kind of a gray. And then it should be adhered. And then I can take my tweezers, and if I can get it under there, it'll come off. All right. All right, so there we go. Like that. I can't think of anything else I want to. I think that kind of completes that page. I think I'm happy with that. So let's turn it over and see what we have here. We have, you know, I might need something more than just tags in there, I'm thinking. So let's see, how many pictures do we, once again, I don't want to do too many pictures. And we already have tags, so if we could do something different, and sometimes round is different. Sorry if I'm reaching across you here. I also have something like that, which just kind of breaks it up. Maybe. Let's try that. That's why, to me, it's good to have some kind of tray, some kind of container to kind of catch all of your scraps. Because you never know, you might go back and use parts of something that you've already cut up. Oh, I like that, and I think I want something there, and then I would call that good. I would. Now that's, you know, you may have a different opinion. That's what makes this world a great place. We all have different ideas. Some people like to put these on and complete the whole page, and I'm not one of those. I'm one of those that I like to kind of work in layers. And so I'll start with an idea, and then I'll build on the idea until I'm happy with the page, but then I usually go back one last time. See if we can get this in here. Oh, yeah. I usually go back one last time just to make sure I'm happy with it. All right, so I'm looking at this next page. I don't know, maybe I'm okay with that. You don't want to overdo it. I already put one rub on there, so I might be happy. Although, you know, we could do some tape. Maybe we'll do some tape on this page. All right, let's find a piece of tape. Maybe down here. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I like the tape. Let me get you on. the tape that's kind of at wonky angles. But the one I'm about to put on is not at a wonky angle. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut it at a wonky angle. Use this little piece someplace else. No, don't let it go to waste. Use it elsewhere. All right. No. Okay. So I think I'm going to put this here. Oh yeah, like that. Like that. And it kind of goes the opposite direction of that. And then I have this little wonky piece. What am I going to do with the wonky piece? Maybe put it on this corner. Alright. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we're going to turn the page, see if we need anything over here. It also gives you time to kind of work out. You know, once again, I'm kind of happy with that, though maybe something down here, maybe right there. Do I have some numbers? The circle, maybe I'll do a circle. Let's see how that looks. Once again, this is your taste. You know, this is your journal. You do you. Yeah, that's a little too big. So, oh, here. Here's something that says airmail. And it's just about the right size. So I'm thinking that. And it's good to have a place where you can kind of spread it out, see what you have. Gives you a better idea. Oh yeah, I think I like that. All right, so let's take the backing off. See if we can do this a little straighter than we did the last one. But, you know, remember, this is a junk journal. No pressure at all. So let's rub this. Get him stuck down. I'm not sure. I heard a terrible rumor that the rub-ons are not being released, so what's out there is what's out there. And I need to get some more because I love rub-ons. Alright. I like that. Alright. Throw our plastic away. I think we need something here. Something. Maybe another one of those collage strips just right there for some detail. We need a little detail. Maybe like that. Here. I'm using the small collage strips, the reds and the blues to go with my theme. Yeah, I think so. Let's not cover his face too much because we still want you to see him, which you can. All right, I think I'm happy with that. All right, now we're going to come over here. Remember we did this piece of ephemera on camera. And and these, you'll see on the other one we come to, they didn't fit in very well. Or they were smaller than these, let's put it that way. And so they went pretty far down, so I ended up having to put some tabs on them, which I have tabs here too, if we want to add some more tabs. I don't know, this is pretty plain over here, but it's also very dark, so I don't know if we could see. But look, there's a tag There's a tag here. Maybe if we put a tag up there, let's see what I have for tags. Oh, here's a number. I know I'm out of shot, so you don't know what I'm talking about. But here's a number. It's actually in blues. That's kind of good. Do I want it that way, or do I want it this way? Are you yelling at me yet? No, not that one. All right. I think I'm going to do this, and I think we'll do it the other way for now. This one will require glue. So let's put a little 3-in-1 on it. You could even use a glue stick. Excuse my reach. I go with the journal today, don't I? My red sweatshirt. Alright, so let's add a little glue and add our number to this. I'm going to add it up here. Just because that just seems like a lot of blue, and it seems like it needs another layer of interest. You want your eye to kind of travel over your piece of work, so you kind of want to get something that makes your eye go around the piece. Does that make sense to you? That's the way my brain thinks. Alright, did I lose my little, nope, I put it over here. Okay. And we'll try to stick this back on. And one reason I like Tim's ephemera, and I'll give you a little hack here, if I can get my thing back on. It's always tricky. Big hands, little items. Okay. Okay, don't give me grief. It's gonna give me grief, of course. You're on camera, you're filming, this is gonna be it's gonna give you grief. Alright, we'll bend it a little, see if that helps. But as I was saying, Tim's, okay, I may come back and fix that later because it's just driving me nuts. Tim's ephemera already has quite a bit of detail on it, but you could do this too. If you had a piece of ephemera, copyright free, that you got, let's say, from the Graphics Fairy, and it was just the picture of the flower, then you could add a label down here and a piece of aged tape. And I know there are several people that show you how to make aged tape. And you could do that, and then you'd have something that was very similar to Tim's. So just an idea. Just so you know. Okay, we're gonna try one last time, and then we're moving on. Ta-da! See, that did it. I told it. All right. Then there's this piece. We worked on these last week too. And I think, I know I put a number down there, and I put a piece of tape here. I might, I don't know. I think I might do something up there. Let's see what rub-ons I have. I've got this one, which already came off its backing, so might be perfect. All right, and be careful not to get your fingers stuck to this, because then you may lose some of your words. So I think I'm going to put one up here. That's just saying it needs something to me. And then I think I'm putting the other one down here. No, I think it needs to be there. So let's rub and get those on there. Oh, okay. It removed itself. That's good. That happens sometimes. And then this one. See, and then to me, be careful you don't do it too hard, because if you go under and it comes off, and you could scrape it off. And you don't want to do that. Okay. All right, we got the plastic off. See, to me that does, like I was saying before, it kind of makes your eye go around. So that works for me. Let's put, I know this is dangerous. Let's put the clip back on, although this isn't as thick, so this ain't gonna get me a lot of problems. Okay. On this side, I think we need something right there. Now, can I see the, oh no, I can't because of the tag. Good. See, that's the other thing you probably want to check. I don't like to see a lot of white over the top, and sometimes the back of these can make it look very white. Okay, so what are we going to put? Ooh, maybe this one. I don't know, what do you think? I kind of like that. That works for me. So let's put letters there. Try to line it up. We got some lines here, so I'm trying to line it up with the lines. Alright. Rub, rub, rub. This is probably as exciting as inking things, isn't it? I don't know. I'm kind of going by what I enjoy watching. For years, I was the watcher. And oddly enough, I like the sound of rustling paper when people are putting their journal together. And I don't mind watching inking or rubbing. Okay, and now this is going to give me grief. Wouldn't you know? There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. I still need something. Am I ever happy? Well, this is the question. All right, is that number too big? Might be too big. And I don't really have any smaller numbers at the moment. So I may leave that and come back. But maybe a number there. That's what I'm thinking. Alright. So let's move on. I can always do that last minute kind of thing. I'm sure I'll go through it again before I do my flip through. Alright, tags, pictures. I'm kind of happy with that. With everything going on. Alright, now this one I didn't really show you, and I think I'm going to kind of do a tutorial on my folders. So let's take that off because that's holding it down. So what I did, let me grab some that are in process here. All right. So what I did was I find a picture for the front. This one has a slide of a butterfly, but I've got people over here. And I'm going to glue on 3 sides. Ink if you want to ink. See, that's upside down, but you know it's not going to matter because we're about to cover it. Which is why I did this sometimes when you do the folders. You end up with words that you don't want. Alright, so let's kind of center him like that. We'll let him dry before I show you the fact that we're going to stick something in there. Alright, and then inside we have a larger slide with some grommets, and we'll do the 3 sides of that so you have a pocket. This was a learning experience because I'll never forget the first few journals I made. I glued everything down. I didn't, didn't really think about options. So now, what can I make a pocket? Where can I stick things? Okay. So then we have, let's go ahead and glue this one, and then I'll show you what we do with the straw paper. Alright, let's ink this a little. I don't think I'll ink inside. I think it's good enough. Alright, so then I'm going to glue this closed. And close it up. Try not to get too much glue. We don't want stuff oozing out. Alright, now you can do it either way. Because of the way my words are going, I'm having the smaller frame on the top. But sometimes, like this one goes the other way. Okay? Whichever way works for you. Okay? And then I'm going to have, so I don't need all my holes. So I'm going to do 3 holes. Let me get my crocodile. This is one of those tools. I'll have to do 10 tools that I recommend. Nope. Oh, I know where they are. As I drop things. I know where they are. They're in the tin that says eyelets. How about that? Alright, so I'm going to get 3 kind of antique-y, since this is an antique look. Alright. So then I'm going to do these 3 holes. Try to center it here. It's my wobbly hands. Okay, there's my little holes. We'll leave them right there for the moment. And we're going to put the grommet in. And you want to push, whoops, see that didn't do it. This one is a little wonky, so it may not work. You want to push hard enough to get those edges to curl. See, he didn't work. I think he was faulty. But we're going to glue this down, so you're not going to know. But you need to be careful of that if you can see the back, because you don't want somebody's finger to get caught on that. Or so if that was the... See, that one did it just fine. I think there's something wrong with that eyelet. Sometimes when they're flawed, they don't work like they're supposed to. Once again, we're going to glue this down. Yep, that one worked fine too. Alright, so get rid of our little dots here. Let's glue up. We're going to put the butterfly first because we may have the mushroom kind of over the top of him. Alright, I think he's going to kind of go like that. Let's just place it just to make sure. We want that one covering the hole. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of center him. There I went. Forgetting to put the lid on. So I will get rid of my dribble. Put the lid on. I'm going to put him right about there. And give him a mushroom. This other one has a flower, but I like mushrooms. I like the mushrooms, so we'll add the mushrooms. And to me, it is not necessary to go clear to the edge. Once again, you don't want too much because you don't want it squishing out. And if it's not all, it's kind of three-dimensional if it's not all glued down. I always like to keep things hanging off too. That makes it a little more interesting, especially when you go to put it on here. Okay, so we're going to glue it on here, 3 sides. 3 sides. Make sure you get the right 3 sides, or this won't work. Alright. Tweezers. Alright. Okay, I'm just going to get this glued down. I usually do the opposite side. It's just, once again, kind of an eye thing. So, let's do this one. Always helps when there's lines on the paper because it makes it much easier to line up. Alright, so we have a place to tuck there. We have a place to tuck here. And then what I do is I cut down a piece of straw paper. I use straw paper. You can use any kind of paper, tea-dyed paper or whatever you have. But I use straw paper. I cut it down to fit. Make sure you can still fold it, okay? And then I glue it down. This is your journaling space, all right? So let me remove these and I'll show you what I did with this one. Actually, I should show you. Oh no, that's empty, so I'll show you on here. All right, so let me put those aside. I can finish those later. And bring him back over so you can see. All right, so I have here, I used a slide with a butterfly, a picture. There's the pocket, okay? And then I slide that in, all right? I may do something else there. I may need something else. And then inside we have a frame, a slide. And I had him sticking out just a little more, okay? And then I put a tab up here. I glued it down, okay? You don't have to glue them down. You can use bulldog clips. You can use paper clips so that people can take them in and out. But here is, you know, and I think, let's do this so it's nice and flat. So because I'm going to have to stamp. I'm going to stamp, and we don't want it to be a mess. All right. So here I have my paper, and what I do is I put a stamp. Let's see if we have the right colors in here. Like I say, I'm down to the nitty-gritty here. Oh, there's one that's kind of the... But I want to finish these up. Lots of yellow. But we can't use yellow. That would blend. Ooh, we've got some green. But that's not really our color. And I think I used all the blues. There's purple. Brown. That's a brown and okay. So that decided that. We're going to use this one here. Because it's red. Okay. So then I put it down. And I do a little stamping. Let's get our black. I think I'm going to use the word registered down in the corner. Tap, 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 as Tim says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They say if you count 10, gives the ink time to transfer. And then let's see. I want a postmark. Maybe I'll use New York. And like I say, these are from the Tim Holtz, although some of them aren't. You can find postal things most any place. All right, let's put New York there. Okay. And remember, this is a postal thing, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And here's my waves. You can tell my waves are well used. My cancellation mark. Okay. All right. Okay. There we have it. My little folder is done. And you can open that and you can write on the tag. You can write on this. You know, I think it needs something else. Let's put that up out of the way. And put him back in where he belongs. I don't know, do I have I think it needs more. I do. Let's see if I have something small. That might not be small enough. It's pretty small there. Oh, I could use that, I suppose. And it brings out the blue. You know, push this down and maybe put this over the top. Yeah, it's not very big in there. That's the problem. That is the problem. But that's okay. I like that. Added a little blue to it. All right, let's move our crocodile out of the way. Find our paper clip. And I clip this shut. You don't have to, but I thought it was better lying down. So here we go again. The bane of my existence, little things. Okay. And then over here we have an envelope as a pocket. Bulldog clip. I like this one. I don't think I want anything more on it. I think that is it. Let me rearrange a little, but I think everything is the way I want it. Okay. Turn it. See, now this is pretty busy, so I don't think a rub-on would work. I wonder if I have something little and round. And, well, see, I've got that up there. Maybe. Alright, I have my little things up here. Let's see if I've got something little, round, and red. I have a tin full of stuff, too, that might work. Little, round, and red. Sometimes that's a tall order because I like little, round, and red, so I have a tendency to use them all up. Then when you go to find one, they're gone. No, I think that's too big. I think that is too big. I have a lot of enclosed, and I don't really want that because I already have an enclosed up there. I have special delivery. Maybe. There's an airmail that might look nice. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We found one. How about a 50 cents? That's not cents. I don't know. It looks like 50 degrees is what it looks like. Huh. And do I want something else to come out? It's once again too big. Too big, too big. In my opinion. Once again, you might be saying, no, do it, do it. All right. Yeah, maybe one of those. Let's try this. Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm going with that. Let's put this down. And we'll put this down. You know, I'm not going to ink this. To me, this looks antique enough. You don't have to ink everything. In fact, sometimes you can make things look too dark if you ink everything. It's a matter of finding the balance. Yeah. I'm going to put him down like that. I used some tape up here. Wonder if I should use some tape down here. That's a thought. Let me show you this. I have a bunch of wide ones. Unfortunately, they have like 2 sheets of skinny tape and a lot of sheets of thick tape, and I don't necessarily want thick. So let's cut it in half. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's supposed to look like torn tape anyway. And I think I like this one more, so let's put him there. Push it down, get it down. Oh yeah, I like that. Then you know what? I think I'm putting this one up here. You always find some place to put the other side. Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Very antique-y scrapbook looking. Okay. I think I'm fine with those. Then we come over here. I like this. All right, and here's the other square, and I put that on there. I like that. Ooh, we're kind of bare inside, though. We definitely need something inside here. And what shall it be? In the pink monarch butterfly, they had some words. Where are the words? Postage paid. I think this one is too big. Oh, and here's a blue. I think I like the blue better. Yeah, I think I'm going with that. I think I am. Okay, so let's, now it's grungy enough too. I'm going to leave it. Am I in shot here? Probably not. I have a tendency to want to sit back, and I need to be forward. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. Give me a little grace, a little grace. Okay. Oh yeah, I like that. And do we need something over here? There's an oval. I probably can't find another oval. That would be perfect to find something that goes right there that's oval to cover that. But I don't know that I have anything that's oval. Let's look through here. I have round. That doesn't have anything on it. And I do have some tags up here that probably has an oval in it. Alright, let's see if I've got an oval in here. Big oval. Lots of big ovals. Don't need the big ovals. Oh, I forgot I had these, and I think I see an oval. Definitely some round, which might work. It's not big enough. not big enough. Do you see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to cover the piece that is hanging over. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to have to cut one out. Unless I just accidentally find one here. Yeah, because those aren't the right. And those aren't big enough. Alright. Yet another thing we'll have to come back to. Because I am not seeing an oval that will fit. And I'm not sure the circles will fit. Yep. Because see, then we create another problem, and we don't want that. All right, I'm going to have to think on that and come back. We'll have to find an oval that is the right size. Or figure out something else, which I'm sure I can do. But we definitely need something there. I am going to do a final flip through, so you'll see what I ended up with when I do my flip through. So now we've got two things we need to fix. All right, here's where I used the brads, Lola. The brads. Yep. All right, I think maybe let's put our fellas back up. They fell down. They sit there and make me smile. All right, do I want a number? Maybe. There are a lot of other numbers. I have a date, and there's a smaller number. I think I like the large number, though. Yeah, I'm happier with the large number. So let's put the large number there. Get that down. Get him to stick. Get this up, we hope. Ta-da! All right, there we go. And you know, I think I'm going to add a circular stamp in red. I don't know. I'm just thinking that's what it needs. So let's get, is this my received? No, it's Berlin. Interesting, okay. It's my Berlin postmark. But that's fine. That's fine. You can go right there. Oh yeah. Yep, I like that. A little pop of color. All right, and then I took a piece of scrapbook paper that had parcel post and made a pocket out of it. I don't know. Do I need something there or not? Do I need a little something something at the top? I don't know that the butterfly is what we need. God, I don't know. Maybe something there. We have to come back to that too. What do I have over here? I have a picture. Of course, there's a picture in here, but we can't see him. Maybe a picture, and do we have like a tag? Certified. All right. Okay. I'm going to staple this. Let me get my tiny. I do not have a tiny attacher. You know, when you're on a budget, you decide what you can live with and what you can live without. And I live without a tiny attacher. I have a little pink stapler. Okay, put a little staple in there, makes it interesting. And you know, I think I'm going to trim this down a little. I'm going to trim down the side a little. And I see some yellow, so I do think I need... some... Oh my, I'm going to hit an hour. How did I do that? Doesn't take much, does it? You start playing in it. Okay, I do. I think I'm putting him up there. Alright, so I need... You know, here's something else I could do. What's on the other side? I wonder. Speaking of brads, now that I know what they are, speaking of brads, I have some of these that I found on sale. And you probably can't see because I'm sitting back again. What number do I want? Let's see if we can find. Ooh. 19. I think I want 19. How about that? Alright, and I think I'm going to have to put a punch. I don't think this is just going to go through. So, let me find the awl that I use for journals and make a little hole to help this guy out. And I think I want it right there. So I'm going to punch just a little hole. And I'm going to put him through the hole. Make sure he's going the right way. Kind of like that. I won't make him straight up and down. We're going to make it interesting. Pull those brad things back just like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I like it. Okay. So, that's what we're doing there. We just made that a little more interesting. And then we're going to come over here, and yes, I know we can see the brad, but I'm wondering if I can cover it up. Can I cover it up? I think I probably can. At least enough that it's not going to be a glaring thing. So let's put that so it covers the brad. Bring this down like that. I'll have this, and I'll do one last something here. You know, I think let's use some stamp again because brown, maybe some brown. That's a nice one. Let's do that. Let's put that there. Then let's do a little bit of the wave and maybe another red circle. This time I am not going to ink the whole thing. I'll just ink a little part of it because I don't want that to... I have stamp cleaner, which I will use when we're done here. Okay. And now let's put a little red on there. Maybe something down in the corner. All right, where's my red? There's my red. And let's do a different one. Here's Paris. Should we use Paris? I think so. Let's use Paris. I'm gonna go wonky. Yep, maybe I'll leave it at that. I think I will. Once again, you have to know, when is it enough? All right, I think we have finished. We have finished our journal. I just have to put the front on, which I believe is done. I don't think I'm going to do anything more to it. Maybe I may put a grommet. I may do that. All right, but you'll see that when I do the flip through. So the next time you see this, I will do a flip through and it will go in my Etsy shop. And next week we will start a new journal. It's a journal that I started out making. They're made from scratch. I use, mine is, I believe it's 10 by 13. 10 by 13 manila envelope. And I'll show you how I turn a 10 by 13 manila envelope into a journal cover. And so hopefully you will join me. Thank you again, Lola, for straightening me out about the brads. And Carol, I hope I answered your questions about the dies. Thank you, one and all, for watching, for taking part, and I hope to see you the next time. Bye.